Hello and welcome to Ed Table Talk Unplugged, a show produced by the Communications section of the Ministry of Education and Technical and Vocational Training, where we dialogue with education stakeholders to dissect issues surrounding education. This season, our focus is on the most critical years of learning, early childhood education. Today's topic, the Preschool Mentoring and Coaching Program. It's a much-needed program as research indicates that the foundational years are the most critical in a child's development. Mentorship can be defined as a developmental relationship in which a more experienced or knowledgeable person guides, advises, and supports a less experienced or knowledgeable individual to facilitate their personal and professional growth, skill development, and goal attainment. This guidance often involves sharing of expertise, offering constructive feedback, and providing encouragement. The Early Childhood Mentorship Program was developed to give support to new and struggling teachers. This program equipped participants with training, knowledge, skills, and best practices used in the government preschool program. With that said, joining me in this first segment to talk about the ministry's mentorship and coaching program is Education Officer for Early Childhood, Teresa Hunter. Ms. Hunter, you know it's definitely a pleasure having you here in this forum.
It's a pleasure being here.
Great. And just tell us a bit about your background to start us off in education.
Well, I am a 32-year experienced early childhood educator.
You said how many years?
32 years.
Wow.
And I'm passionate about education. I'm passionate about supporting teachers. So that's my passion.
Yep, I knew you for a good much of those years. And you're definitely passionate. Now, tell us, what is the Early Childhood Mentorship Program? What is that about, and why was it established, even though I alluded to that already?
Okay, the Early Childhood Education Program is a program that was established last school year to give support to new teachers, that's teachers coming in with 0 to 5 years experience. So we provided support and training and mentorship for these teachers.
And so this is something you said, when you said it started?
Last school year.
Last year. So you mean these teachers were coming in not having that support. How has the program benefited participants since its inception in early childhood?
Well, it was extremely beneficial. We would hear teachers saying, wow, we really appreciate it because it gave support for new teachers, because lots of times persons come into the system not knowing to expect. But by having a mentor there, they're there to guide them and to navigate them and support them and to help them with experiences in the classroom. And what I particularly like about our early childhood program is that it caters specifically, is tailor-based for early childhood practitioners, in that we would provide training and support in early childhood initiatives.
And you see a lot of the younger teachers being receptive as they come in?
Yes, most of the time I would call them, I say, how are you doing? Are you floating, sinking? Oh, Miss Hunter, we're floating or we're swimming. So it's been very supportive for them, because it's like a crutch, it's like support for them because it's new. And lots of times they're not aware, they're not familiar with practices, especially early childhood practices, or even the preschool program. And so by having a mentor, it equips them with the skills and training and support that they would need.
Now, I know that the primary school, because I am a former primary school educator, and I know that there was a mentorship program in place for primary and I think high school as well. So it's a good thing now that the preschool, the foundation where everything is more critical, all right? Because the first 5 years determine what that person is going to be. Go ahead.
Okay, and I want to just speak on that because the preschool mentorship program took it up a notch when it comes to the mentorship program, because we designed it as a form of an induction program where we provide professional development weekly for our teachers. We provide mentorship.
Did you say weekly?
Yes, ma'am. Weekly,
Wow.
either we provide a hybrid, in a hybrid model, where they can either come in or we are featured virtually. We provide support, we provide professional development, and also we provide knowledge training and experience and mentorship for persons who would need it.
That is excellent.
Yes.
That is excellent. And I'm sure many teachers who have gone before would wish, wow, I wish I had that support. So what are some of the challenges that are faced in the program?
Like every other thing, it would have its challenges, but we've learned to rise above them. One of the challenges that we faced in the early childhood mentorship program was for mentors and mentors be able to attend our sessions, because lots of times persons were either absent from the classroom setting, or there was not enough staffing in the schools. So lots of time mentors couldn't come to the professional development, or sometimes mentors and mentees some of them wasn't able to connect, especially in the family islands. You know, we had a little challenge with connecting with mentors and mentees in the family islands.
Do we have preschools in all of our primary schools now? Do we?
We have preschools in basically all of our primary schools in New Providence, with the exception of Yellow Elder and E.B. Roberts.
Okay. All right. How is it in terms of building relationships? Because I know I saw you interacting with some of your, I assume, mentees. What is that like for you?
Well, it's important. The first ingredients for building any relationship is trust. They have to be able to really trust the person and know that that person particularly care about them. As you saw me joking with them, I was telling them, now y'all know I only come down hard on you all because, I love you all and I care. I want you to be able to function internationally. So I have my standards high, and so when I come, I expect to see my standards in place.
Exactly, and that same thing should spill over in their classrooms. So what does the future of this program look like?
Well, the future of this program looks bright. I want to bring on board the teachers' aides next year. I have a mentorship program for the teachers' aides, where the more experienced teacher aides will be there to mentor the new teacher aides, because we don't get to provide as much training as we should for the teacher's aides, but if there's a mentor can guide that teacher aide as to what to expect or the practices that should be in place in the preschool.
Wow. Tell me one of your greatest successes since this has started.
Well, so many. But one of my greatest successes was to see new teachers coming in, timid,
Yes.
scared, shy, wondering what to expect, and sinking, and some of them would say drowning, and to now to see how confident they are, and to see the relationships that have been established between the mentors and the mentees. So that's two major accomplishments so far.
That's some good stuff. Thank you so much, Ms. Teresa Hunter, for gracing us with your presence and telling us a bit about the program and the purpose of the program, and all the best to you as the program continues to develop. At this time, we'll take a break, and when we return, we'll be chatting with a preschool teacher, actually 2 preschool teachers. Stay with us.
All children under the age of 5 years old have access to high-quality care and education in a healthy and safe environment. Child care centers adhere to best practices which promote positive growth and development of children with professionally trained and effective staff and directors. Quality child care, building a strong foundation for life. This public service announcement is brought to you by the Communications section of the Ministry of Education and Technical and Vocational Training in conjunction with this station.
Unity and accountability within our communities should not be the culture of the past, but they should guide how we live today. At the heart of our communities are children, the future pillars of our nation. Together, we need to protect our future by making sure our children attend school. Committed to protecting our future, the Ministry of Education and Technical and Vocational Training has established a toll-free hotline to provide a confidential and supportive channel for concerned citizens to report students who are not in attendance at school. Join us in weaving the fabric of a stronger community. Make a commitment to each child's success. Mark it or rock it. Make a complaint. Raise a concern by calling 42-CHILD. That's 422-4453 or 727-7081 in Grand Bahama. Remember, every child counts, and as keepers of our community, our children, our future is everyone's business.
This public service announcement was brought to you by the Communications section of the Ministry of Education and Technical and Vocational Training in conjunction with this station.
Welcome back. You're watching Ed Table Talk Unplugged. Our discussion today is about what many people probably do not know exists, the Preschool Mentorship Program. I'm now joined by preschool teachers. The first one, Miss Carlton E. Francis, Danae Miller. She is a teacher extraordinaire there at Carlton E. Francis Primary School. And we have Miss Abigail Neely. What school are you from, Miss Neely?
I'm at Goventines Primary.
Goventines Primary. It's such a pleasure to have you join this conversation today. Let's just jump right into it. Explain your role. You're mentors, correct?
Yes. Correct.
Explain your role. I'll start with you, my dear. Explain your role in this program.
All right, as you just said, my role is a mentor in the program. My mentee is a second-year teacher, and it was my job to just provide some support and assistance for her, professionally and also personally.
Wonderful, wonderful. What is your role, Ms. Neely?
Well, similar, yes. I joined the program, and I have two mentees. One is on San Salvador, and one just began teaching in January. So again, to provide that support for them.
That is lovely. Tell us a bit, let's get a little bit more into the details of how you're providing that support. Tell us a bit about how you've helped or how you've assisted your mentee, either of you.
For me, my mentee actually was my teaching practice student. So I have had her with
Interesting,
me
yes.
from the beginning of her journey. And, just coming into everything, I helped her with her lesson planning, creating her forecast, creating her teaching aids, and then also giving her some, advice and little tips and hints on, how to deliver lessons effectively.
I just love your graceful voice. And I'm sure your little darlings, they love it. All right, Miss Neely, what about you?
Yes, so as I mentioned, this one of my mentees, she just began teaching in January. And so there was a lot that she had to get ready, in a short period of time. And so assisting her with class decor, also helping her to have that classroom management, giving her those tricks. That's going to help to settle the kids, especially seeing that she's new to them, and just being a good listener, helping her to figure things out. Yes.
I alluded to this in a previous conversation, but when you said giving her those tricks for classroom management, I was a young student at COB, was COB at the time, and I said, let me get a little job. And I went to, at Lily's Preschool, and those children in that class, it was K4. I felt like I was gonna die. I could not control them. I'm like, how do you control these children? They didn't listen to anything I said. So that support, that is so important. Now, there must be challenges along the way. Tell us about those challenges.
Okay, well, for me personally, I can't say I have any notable challenges,
but with speaking to other mentors, a major challenge was just setting up the meetings because, life gets really stressful, it gets hectic, everything gets busy, and just being able to coordinate schedules was actually very challenging. But my mentee works at the school where I am, so, meeting up with her was pretty easy, and we have a good bond, a good relationship, so we're able to talk often and openly. So I can't say I had, very many issues.
Wow. And I get that proximity, that closeness is definitely a plus for you. Miss Neely?
Yeah. So as mentioned earlier, one of my mentees live in San Salvador. So the challenge is getting to give that hands-on support. So for me, that's a challenge. However, we try to overcome it during the holidays. We try to get together and we just talk. And whatever it is that she needs, classroom items, all of those things, I try to be available and ready to provide.
Yes. Now, my friend here, she already spoke about or showed us evidence of the relationship and the importance and the effectiveness, the impact of building a relationship with your mentee. So tell me, Miss Neely, how important is it to build a solid relationship? Because especially with you being here and one of your mentees being in San Salvador.
I think it's very, very, very important to have a good relationship. At times, it may seem as though you have been given an assignment, you've been thrown into the ocean and told to swim. However, having a good relationship, mentee-mentor relationship, it's like you get to hold somebody's hand and they take you on that journey. So a good relationship, very important.
Yes, and the program is still fairly new. What do you feel are some of the kinks that could be ironed out, or how do you see it improving?
Well, for me, it would be, I guess, scheduling all of the professional development sessions and the meetings where we all come together. I know, things get a little bit hectic at school. Some people may be able to come one day or they may be not able to come at another time. Just have more, organized schedule so that everyone can come, because I feel it's something everyone who is a part of the program can benefit from, and if they're able to come more frequently, then they're going to be able to, get the maximum benefit from it.
Mm-hmm. Is this a mandatory program? Like once a teacher comes into the profession as a preschool teacher, does she or he automatically become or has a mentor?
I think, it's a fairly new program, but it was made mandatory for those who are part of it, for the mentees, this year.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much. Very informative. Keep up the good work. Obviously, your heart is in it, and our young teachers need it, because these students nowadays, they come ready, ready to take over. So thank you so much. It's been a pleasure, ladies, chatting with you, and hope to see you again for another chat to see how things are developing in the program. So we're going to take a break right now, and when we return, we will have two of our mentees to tell us a bit about their experience.
The early years are an important period of rapid growth and development. Children begin to discover and explore their world. Positive, rich experiences during this period help to develop strong minds and healthy bodies. The early years, building a strong foundation for life.
This public service announcement is brought to you by the Communications section of the Ministry of Education and Technical and Vocational Training in conjunction with this station.
Unity and accountability within our communities should not be the culture of the past, but they should guide how we live today. At the heart of our communities are our children. the future pillars of our nation. Together, we need to protect our future by making sure our children attend school. Committed to our future, the Ministry of Education and Technical and Vocational Training has established a toll-free hotline to provide a confidential and supportive channel for concerned citizens to report students who are not in attendance at school. Join us in weaving the fabric of a stronger community. Make a commitment to each child's success. Mark it or rock it. Make a complaint or raise a concern by calling 42-CHILD. That's 422-4453 or 727-7081 in Grand Bahama. Remember, every child counts, and as keepers of our community, our children, our future is everyone's business.
This public service announcement was brought to you by the Communications section of the Ministry of Education and Technical and Vocational Training in conjunction with this station.
Welcome back to Ed Table Talk Unplugged. We're talking about the preschool mentoring and coaching program. I'm joined in this final segment by two lovely, power-packed ladies, preschool teachers Ariel Webb and Kendira Ferguson. Ladies, welcome.
Thank you.
It's so good to have you with me today. Now, I want to know how long you were teaching.
Well, I've been in the teaching field as a trained teacher for approximately 1 year, going on to 2.
And may God give you strength.
Yes.
I'm in the same.
Both. I'm on my second year. Yes, second year.
And so that's your mentees. And that's why you're here today to tell us a bit about your experience as a mentee. How does the program assist you when either of you can respond in your personal growth?
Well, in my personal growth as well as professional growth, the mentorship program has assisted me with enhancing my skills as well as strategies within the classroom. In my personal growth, it has allowed me to become a better person.
Yeah, definitely. And do you feel that you could have done without it? Or does it feel like, oh, Lord, thank you. I'm so glad they have this program for me.
Well, I know some persons have done without it, but for me, I am so grateful for the program because coming into the teaching field as a trained teacher, it was a lot of anxiety for me. So I was more than ecstatic when Mr. Santados came up with the mentorship program.
And I'd like to know, why did you choose this profession? Young people today, into that. Why did you choose to, and especially the little ones?
Well, I love children. I've always loved children. My initial profession was to become a pediatrician, but science, no, it was too much for me. So the teaching field was my next best bet. And growing up, I had a lot of dolls, and I guess you would say I was a little biggity. So being in charge.
Still biggity?
Not that much. So being in charge was something that I loved and bettering the future.
Definitely. Kendira?
I would say that I chose to become a teacher, preschool teacher specifically, because I do enjoy being around young children. And at first, I was a bit hesitant as well. I was like, I'm not 100% certain, but I still wanted to take it up in college, and I still wanted to get a feel of it to be sure that it's what I really wanted to do. And getting field experience in the field, I absolutely enjoyed it. I enjoy seeing the students every day. I enjoy seeing them progress and grow. I enjoy helping them reach their full potential, essentially, yes.
Yeah, that must be a fulfilling feeling. Yes. Explain the role of your mentor.
Well, the role of my mentor was to be a guide. So someone I can go to for ideas, suggestions, tips, advice, whatever it may be. I can go to my mentor. And it actually fostered into a relationship that turned into a partnership because as I went to her for advice and as I learned from her, she also learned one or two things from me as well. So it turned out to be a partnership, like a two-way street, so to say.
Yes, and that is exactly what the result should be and the impact should look like. How effective for you, and we can tell it's very effective, but how do you view this program? Do you feel it's effective straight across the board?
Well, I feel that it is very effective straight across the board, and it allows new teachers as well as those who may have been in the program for about 1 or 2 years to better themselves, whether it be in the classroom, on the playground, or at home where they deal with their own children and so on. So for me, it is very effective.
So one of the goals for the early childhood mentorship program was to give new teachers support. You said it's effective, but let's say I've been in the classroom for more than 5 years, more than 6 years. Do you think it's helpful in that way, or was I in the classroom too long to learn or to be receptive to help and training?
Well, I would say that learning is ongoing. So although me or Mrs. Webb finished schooling, we got our degree, and we're in the classroom now, learning is still ongoing. So this mentorship program offered ongoing support for us. And yes, essentially pairing us with more experienced teachers. It was very supportive.
Definitely, and I wish you guys the best. Obviously, you have that zeal. You have that zeal that is needed to make it with these children, especially these little babies today. You look like you had something else to say, Kendira.
Oh yeah, to finish with the supportive, what I was saying about it being supportive, it also made the job much easier for us and more manageable. That's what I wanted to say, yes, because they're constantly behind us, making sure that we are up to par or holding a high standard for ourselves and our classroom. So when they're, cheering us on, like, way to go, or you're doing a good job, yes. So it made it a lot more manageable for us.
Right. And with that experience, especially you said you had anxiety when coming in, do you feel as though you will be a mentor to someone else as we close?
Yes, I know I will be a mentor to someone else because I will take on all of the information that was presented to me within the program to further someone else's education as well.
Any final thoughts?
Yes, I am very grateful for the mentorship program. It has been very beneficial to me and to my growth as well. And as I saw my teaching methods improve, that reflected on my students' achievements as well. So, yeah, it was very beneficial.
Thank you, ladies. Thank you, ladies. And thank you to the Ministry and Department of Education for launching this new and effective program, the mentorship program for preschool education. It has certainly been a pleasure. Like I said, ladies, thank you again for your contribution to this very relevant discussion as we strive to strengthen our system of education at the very foundation for the betterment of not just our students, but our country. To our viewers, if you would like to receive regular updates from the Ministry of Education and Technical and Vocational Training, direct text message notification updates are available. You can subscribe by texting 819-BMOE. That's 819-2663. And remember to visit all of our social media platforms, inclusive of our website, Facebook page, Twitter, and Instagram. Again, thank you so much for tuning in. Until next time, I'm Adama Williams.